The booster course pass for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was quite the success, and once again, we're looking at all changes and differences made for the returning courses in Wave 6 of the DLC. The third race of the Acorn Cup is Wii Daisy Circuit. Themed after the princess's favorite flower, it's a seaside resort under sunset skies, featuring quaint tourist shops along the yacht-filled port, a lighthouse beyond a tunnel with an ocean liner nearby, and a grand hotel overlooking fountains with statues of Daisy, Luigi, and their baby counterparts. So how does the most recent update differ from past installments? Let's find out. Daisy Circuit in Mario Kart Wii started with pretty much all of the features iconic to the course, including the curvy roads and the shortcut through the shops. Everything received a makeover for Tour many years later, and the shortcut elements were tweaked. For the Switch version, a glide ramp was added to it and some additional dash panels and a ramp were placed at the Lighthouse Peninsula. Quite a few other alterations were made for each update of the track. Let's start with the gameplay changes. At the first corner by the shops, the raised area that continued all the way down the oceanfront in Wii was cut significantly for Tour, and the adjacent railing was extended, replacing the posts and following the contour of the path. The passageway shortcut at the 1UP coffee shop was blocked by a breakable piranha plant cutout, and one of the dash panels along the staircase inside was removed. For Switch, both a dash panel and a glide ramp line this flight of steps, being off-road like in Wii. After the later tunnel is a new ramp, and 4 large dash panels were placed around the lighthouse. Oh, is that all? Well, the aesthetic changes are far greater in number. The mini-map was rotated 90 degrees clockwise, with the shortcut stairs shown now. And as expected, there are the general texture, lighting, and mild coloration differences. Even the ocean style and cloud formations, originally animated, were updated between each version too. The sunset skies darkened for Tour, but they have since cleared up a little, revealing some of the blue. Meanwhile, the southeastern sun shifted westward a bit. It's still south of the course even now, but it appears in different areas because of the map's physical rotation. For the renovation, the cliffs stopped having textured lines, while the grass became solid lime green for mobile, removing the clover markings and little round stones. Grass is properly textured now. Compared to Wii, the palm trees were removed by background hills that seem to reference Muda Kingdom from Super Mario Land. Could this course be set in Sarasaland? Regardless, remaining palms were redesigned, with the tall type holding coconuts. Roads were given a bluish-green hue in Tour, which reverted for Switch, and all lines were simplified, devoid of any arrows. At the same time, decorative walls found on some structures became a flat color. Fewer yachts lined the docks, with all remodeled to have life rings but no daisy designs. Cobblestone at the seafront was given a different look, while the fencing above was both redesigned and recolored, adjusted along an updated, contrasting edge. Street lamps were rotated and remade, increasing in number and placed on every other newly installed daisy-marked pedestal along the fence. As a typical rule, spectator locations differ between Tour and Switch. And contrary to what we believed, seagulls are not gone, but their flight path changed. At the starting line, the banner or gate was redesigned for Tour to feature Aqua framework, and its font switched from classic to modern. Purple was added to its array of solid colors, as opposed to the gradient from Wii, complete with daisies that more resemble the princess's brooch. The starting line of 33x4 checks in aqua, orange, and cream became 22x3 checks in coral and white, while a starting grid replaced part of the lane marking. Fireworks no longer would burst here during the opening, but confetti falls in 8 Deluxe all the time, and the banner's black background switched to white to better fit the theming. For mobile, the lattice fence along the grandstand became just a wall with trim behind Tour-style highway railing, with modern sponsors displayed here and beyond. The crowd-filling texture was removed as part of the grandstand's redesign. Audience members were updated from the Wii Standard to the Tour set, albeit still flat. Umbrellas became fewer in number, positioned and colored differently, and shaped more like daisies. The bluish-white variety turned more obviously blue for Switch, and the audience here was updated again to have 3D members in the front and 2D members in the back. Just ahead, the 1UP coffee sign with a 1UP mushroom on it became a Princess Daisy sign with her emblem instead. The 1UP coffee shop itself, in ornate European style like other buildings, features no doors other than the shortcut passage in every version of the course. With that aside, many shop details were altered for Tour, such as the updated window count and design, with the upper floor type becoming generic instead of displaying daisies. The chairs were removed and revised also, with added tables, new brick dividers, and some redesigned plants in different spots with one more. but there were some removals too, like the loss of balconies and textures for the roof shingles, wall, and cobblestone patio, edge included, and the name of the shop no longer was emblazoned on the awnings. Spectators here and beyond consisted of Toads, Shy Guys, Goombas, Hammer Brothers, Sledge Brothers, and Me's, but these were swapped out for the usual scene in Tour, standing in different spots. Cobblestone along the roadside and beyond became brick, and the striped curb, having fewer stripes, switched colors without the offset from Wii at the end of the railing. The road curve stripes were simplified and made dark, appearing only at bends on the tarmac from this point forward. The brick texture was modified significantly for Switch, and rooftops have tiles again. Entering the shopping area, a line of bricks marked the pavement type shift to circle fan cobblestone, featuring little daisies. A red arrow sign was placed here, but safety cones in the area were taken out. The plants along the left-hand shops were reduced to 2 in total, including the one added at the very end. And a pair of lanterns was installed by the passage entrance, with 2 daisy emblems put by the exit. Inside, the steps, walls, and ceiling were remodeled, adding lights along the top. Many of the details of the other shops were updated like this one, such as a different window count with several of their shutters closed, and more windows on previously empty walls. There also were recolored divisions, a raised back portion that turned blue and revealed its windows, remade awnings without sweet cake printed on them, and restyled railing for the balconies. Meanwhile, the tower's design was revised to resemble a rainbow, with more radial dividers above. Window shutters were removed along the oceanfront shops to the left of it, and the small annex to the right had its foundation expanded. For the latest version, the cobblestone road is tan rather than gray, and the red arrow sign disappeared again. But cones returned to the area, while potted plants all became potted flowers, and lanterns more distinctly project their light on the wall. In the area in front of the hotel, or palace, the style of the fountains became tiered in Tour rather than featuring alternating jets. Their statues lost many details, like their mouths, eyelashes, fingers, and even subtle coloring. Baby Daisy's eyes opened up as well, kind of becoming less expressive than before. These details unfortunately were not restored for Switch, but at least the water flows more realistically now. Also in Tour, fewer posts could be found on the Victorian-style railing around the fountains, and chevrons on them disappeared. Chevron marks on the highway railing were replaced by chevron signs and pushed further back, next to the trackside banners. All chevron signs are gone now. For mobile, traffic cones around the first fountain were cleared out, with more of them in Tour style, including a yellow type, placed between both fountains. Cones around fountains are arranged differently in 8 Deluxe. Posts closing off the out-of-bounds part on the right side were removed for Tour, but this didn't allow for crossing into it. Potted flowers are placed there now to deter driving that way. Ever since Tour, bushes around here were remade as flowerless models rather than flat textures, with fewer, but larger, dividers. The central palm at the semicircle moved inward too. Stools were placed along the brick walkways for the spectators, with no more piantas in sight. A darker striped curb lined the outer grass here, and the outside curbs became unified, staying orange and white without any gray. Street lamps with exclusive Daisy emblem banners by the hotel disappeared, as well as the grassy island between them and nearby potted plants. The steps leading to the hotel entrance were textured differently, and the hotel itself was redesigned much like the shops before, but having no balconies, railing, or rainbow tiles on the roof. Further ahead, the tunnel entrance structure was revised like previous buildings with more refined accents, but the radiating light from Wii's lanterns vanished. For the balcony above, stools, tables, and even umbrellas were added for sightseers to enjoy the race. With another line of bricks crossing the path, the road switched back to tarmac. The walls, curb, ceiling, and lighting system completely changed for the tunnel interior, and rays of sunshine no longer pierced through the openings. Some light shines through again now, which may be why headlights don't turn on in here. However, the electric lights switched from a cool blue to a dimmer warm yellow, and the stars no longer glow. For Tour, caution stripes near the ceiling and trim behind the railing both were removed, and the safety cones were swapped around a bit. Trackside banners and the green shell caution sign at the end all were pulled out, but at least chevron signs were added. Oh wait, those too were removed for Switch. The cones are still present, but they were removed once more. Outside again, the mouth lip for the tunnel exit was made to look completely different. The daisy chain barriers were replaced by flowering bushes and leafy plants, with a couple more palms along the stretch. Now, flowers on bushes were arranged differently, and plants out here have an updated appearance. All striped curbs on the peninsula onward became gray and white ever since tour. Becoming inactive, the lighthouse was rotated slightly and redesigned a bit to feature simpler details: cobblestone matching the seafront, fewer windows, no brick, a red roof, green elements, and different railing for its catwalk or gallery. The lighthouse foundation became devoid of sponsors, with dirt surrounding it rather than concrete, and both traffic cones by the lighthouse and another green shell caution sign were pulled. Only the cones made a comeback since. Daisy Cruiser had a cameo in the Wii version of the course, relocated to be seen when exiting the tunnel. Its logo was removed, making it a generic ocean liner instead. A yacht used to patrol the nearby water, but it parked close to land. Another red arrow sign was put in past this spot, which again has retracted for the Switch update. The Daisy Candy sign ahead originally had 3D art, but it became 2D with minor detail adjustments, a silver frame rather than gold, and no more lights shining on the ad. And trackside banners for 1UP Coffee and Daisy Circuit are not present anymore, given that the fencing was taken out. A few auditory changes exist too. The sounds of seagulls, the ocean, and fountains from Wii all disappeared for tour, but the crowd cheering by the starting line stayed. Both the seagull cries and the rushing water of the fountains returned in 8 Deluxe, but the roaring of the ocean seemingly did not, despite being close and everywhere. Imagine that! But the most soothing sound is the music for Daisy Circuit. Inspired by a fast bossa nova style known as jazz samba, it contains a lot of piano, some flute, strings, and accordion, along with traditional percussion with shakers. The original has a few exclusives, such as the harpsichord chording in the intro and beyond, and the later string and bell glissandos. It's all presented in that iconic Mario Kart Wii sound. What a classic! A special arrangement of this featured in Mario and Sonic at the Sochi 2014 Olympic Winter Games, being fairly similar to the Wii version, but with a longer intro, a harder beat, and a wider range of instruments, including digital. It certainly has that signature Sega flair. However, the Switch arrangement is more clearly a bossa nova that embraces its Brazilian samba roots. The piece now opens with a brief hi-hat trap roll. Many other percussion adjustments were made overall, including the addition of bongos and many ghost notes, that is, soft strikes, on the snare. The piano rhythm is a bit different in the intro. A new flute line comes in here, followed closely by strings and an early bass that goes on to play in a way that better suits the style. Despite having a mallet supporting the lead now, the A section feels more subdued. Acoustic guitar provides the chording, strumming more complex jazz chords throughout, and the repeat of the A section delivers harmonizing flute. The B section melody instruments switch to flute and mallet, while the strings have a more active counterpoint role, continuing into the C section. Here, the melody finally introduces the accordion, with piano accompaniment on the right, and the bridge now has mallets playing the chords and a unique flute counterpoint, with the accordion notes being a wee bit different. Overall, this tropical theme is delightfully smooth and luxurious. And that's about it for all changes we found in Wii Daisy Circuit. The course sticks to its initial design quite well, only making a few tweaks here and there. But being that it was solid from the start, that isn't really a bad thing. As they say, if it isn't broke, why fix it? But what do you think? Have you found any notable changes that we missed? Let us know in the comments below. And of course, stay tuned to GameXplain for more coverage of the Booster Course Pass for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and other things Nintendo too. Thanks for watching. Until next time, ciao!